In December 2025, President Donald Trump intensified pressure on Venezuela by imposing a total and complete blockade on all sanctioned oil tankers entering or leaving the country. This bold move, accompanied by an increased U.S. military presence in the Caribbean and the seizure of an oil tanker, was specifically aimed at cutting off Venezuela's vital oil exports, which are crucial to its economy. Trump declared the Venezuelan government under Nicolas Maduro a foreign terrorist organization, citing the regime's use of oil revenues to finance illicit activities and support terrorism. The blockade specifically targeted those sanctioned tankers, severely impacting Venezuela's already struggling economy and disrupting its extensive black market oil trade operations. Analysts predict severe economic contraction, skyrocketing inflation, drastic currency devaluation, and even dire warnings of potential famine as the cutoff of oil revenue hampers imports of essential food supplies. The Venezuelan government strongly condemned the blockade as a blatant violation of international law and a grotesque threat to their sovereignty, vowing to challenge these actions at the United Nations. Prominent critics, such as Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro, have labeled this blockade an unauthorized and provocative act of war against Venezuela. Historically, the U.S. has been deeply involved in Venezuela's oil industry since the early 20th century, playing a key role in its development and operations over the decades. More recently, U.S. sanctions were first imposed in August 2017 by the Trump administration, restricting Venezuela's access to crucial U.S. financial markets and limiting international transactions. Further sanctions in January 2019 directly targeted PDVSA, Venezuela's state oil company, blocking oil export payments to the U.S. and freezing billions of dollars in assets. While the Biden administration briefly eased some sanctions in 2022 and 2023 in exchange for reform promises, most were reinstated in April 2024 due to unmet commitments by Venezuela. These ongoing actions have contributed to a significant and sustained decline in Venezuela's oil production and exports, worsening the economic crisis. Venezuela possesses the world's largest proven crude oil reserves, yet production has plummeted from 3.2 million barrels per day in 2000 to much lower levels in recent years. By September 2023, production was approximately 735,000 barrels per day, attributed to government mismanagement, chronic underinvestment, and the effects of U.S. sanctions. To circumvent these sanctions, Venezuela relies on a dark fleet of unflagged tankers to smuggle crude oil, primarily to China, through covert operations. These tankers use evasion tactics like false flags and ship-to-ship transfers at sea, with China serving as the main recipient of Venezuela's oil revenue. The recent blockade could further disrupt these exports and place even greater strain on Venezuela's fragile economy amid ongoing challenges. Globally, disruptions to Venezuela's heavy crude oil supply, which is ideal for diesel production, could significantly impact diesel markets around the world. This could potentially lead to increased prices for diesel worldwide, affecting transportation, manufacturing, and various other critical industries. Some analysts suggest that a change in Venezuelan government could unlock these vast oil reserves and reshape global supply chains for the better. This could potentially align Venezuela with OPEC members like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, thereby altering the global energy landscape in meaningful ways. However, short-term escalations risk sudden supply disruptions and significant price spikes in the energy market, creating volatility. International reactions include China's condemnation of the oil tanker seizure as theft and piracy by the United States. China views U.S. actions as a power play to curb its growing influence in the Latin American region and protect its interests. Cuba has also denounced the seizure as maritime terrorism and a violation of international law, echoing regional concerns. Some international observers argue that U.S. sanctions are illegal under international law, as only the UN Security Council can impose such binding measures. The U.S. actions are expected to further destabilize Venezuela's already struggling economy, compounding years of hardship for its people. The broader implications for Venezuela's economy and global energy politics remain significant and far-reaching. The uncertainty around future policy shifts and negotiations will continue to shape the global energy landscape in unpredictable ways. Venezuela's oil crisis shows how geopolitics can reshape global energy overnight.